The $35 billion mega hub that could redefine how Americans travel the world. When most people think of Dubai, images of towering skyscrapers, luxury resorts, and futuristic cityscapes come to mind. But for millions of travelers every year, the first impression of Dubai isn't the skyline. It's Dubai International Airport, known worldwide as DXB. Handling an astonishing 90 million passengers annually, DXB is not just busy, it's the busiest international airport on the planet, moving more people across borders than any other. For the United Arab Emirates, this isn't merely a transit hub, it's an economic engine, contributing roughly 13% of the nation's GDP. In global aviation, DXB holds a place few can rival. It connects the United States to Southeast Asia, Europe to Africa, and nearly every major city in between. For an American traveler, a stop in Dubai might be the midpoint between New York and Bangkok, Los Angeles and Nairobi, or Chicago and Sydney. It's not just a point on the map, it's the world's crossroads in the sky. That's why the news hit like a thunderclap. Dubai's leaders have announced that within the next 2 decades, DXB, the pride of their aviation empire, will shut down completely. Not for renovations, not for a temporary closure, permanently. In its place, they plan to build something unprecedented. Al-Maktoum International Airport, or DWC, located about 30 miles south of the current airport. This isn't just an upgrade. It's a quantum leap. The new facility is designed to be 5 times larger than DXB, with the staggering capacity to handle 260 million passengers per year, nearly the entire population of the United States passing through annually. The decision is as bold as it is baffling. Why walk away from a proven global hub? Why abandon billions of dollars in infrastructure that still functions at peak capacity? The answer lies in Dubai's philosophy: stand still and you fall behind. With competitors like Doha, Istanbul, and Saudi Arabia aggressively expanding their own mega airports, maintaining dominance means thinking far beyond incremental improvements. For Dubai, the move is about more than keeping up. It's about redefining the very idea of an airport. The vision for DWC is nothing short of revolutionary, promising cutting-edge technology, seamless logistics, and sustainability at a scale no one has attempted before. Still, for travelers who have walked DXB's gleaming terminals, for workers who've built their careers there, and for cities around the world that depend on its connections, the thought of it closing feels almost impossible. Yet, as we'll see, this is a calculated gamble, one that could either secure Dubai's place at the top for the next century, or go down as the most audacious misstep in aviation history. Dubai International Airport didn't start as a global powerhouse. In 1960, it was nothing more than a single runway carved out of the desert, a modest facility with basic infrastructure. There were no gleaming glass terminals or bustling duty-free shops, just a stretch of tarmac under the blazing Gulf sun. But Dubai's leaders had a vision: to transform their tiny emirate into a global crossroads. Over the next few decades, DXB grew at a pace that mirrored Dubai itself. Passenger numbers climbed steadily, new terminals rose from the sand, and airlines from around the world began scheduling Dubai as a key stop on their routes. Emirates, launched in 1985, became the crown jewel of the airport, using DXB as a springboard to connect the Middle East to every major market. By the 2010s, DXB had overtaken London Heathrow as the world's busiest international airport, a symbol of ambition turned reality. But with great success came new problems. DXB's location, once an advantage for accessibility, became a constraint. The airport is boxed in on all sides. Dense neighborhoods to the north and east, highways wrapping tightly around its perimeter, commercial developments pressing in from every direction. There is simply no physical room to expand without demolishing large swaths of the city. Then there's the issue of aging infrastructure. By 2050, every runway, terminal, and jet bridge will have surpassed its design lifespan. Maintaining such a vast and complex facility is already a challenge. Doing so while keeping it competitive for decades to come would require a massive, disruptive overhaul. Operationally, the airport is also reaching its limits. In peak travel seasons, delays at DXB aren't caused by storms or technical failures. They're caused by physics. You can't squeeze more takeoffs and landings into a 24-hour cycle without creating bottlenecks. For an airport that already runs with clockwork precision, the margins for growth are razor thin. Meanwhile, The competition isn't just catching up, it's racing ahead. Doha's Hamad International Airport has unveiled a stunning new terminal. Istanbul's mega airport is already capable of handling 200 million passengers per year. Saudi Arabia is investing heavily in King Salman International Airport, designed for 185 million passengers annually. These projects aren't future hypotheticals, they are active threats to Dubai's dominance in global aviation. For Dubai, standing still would mean more than losing a few percentage points of market share. It would mean losing relevance. The moment passengers and airlines find more efficient, modern, or spacious alternatives, the gravitational pull of DXB begins to weaken. That's why, despite the sentimental value and economic importance of DXB, the city's leadership recognized a hard truth. Incremental fixes weren't going to cut it. The scale of the challenge demanded something radical. And that's when the idea of building an entirely new purpose-designed airport, one that could handle the demands of the 21st and even 22nd centuries, began to take shape. Faced with DXB's physical limitations and the relentless advance of regional rivals, Dubai's leaders made a decision that would have seemed unthinkable to most. They would build an entirely new airport from the ground up, not just to replace DXB, but to surpass anything the aviation world had ever seen. This was not a matter of adding a runway here, a terminal there, or upgrading a baggage system. Those would be temporary fixes, band-aids on a deeper problem. What Dubai envisioned was a clean slate, a facility designed without compromise, optimized for the demands of global air travel in the 21st century and beyond. The chosen site sits about 30 miles, 48 kilometers south of DXB, in a stretch of open desert within the Dubai South District. Here, there are no urban constraints. No neighborhoods to displace, no highways to reroute. The blueprint is vast. Al-Maktoum International Airport, known as DWC, will be 5 times the size of DXB, with the capacity to handle 260 million passengers annually, nearly triple the capacity of Istanbul's mega airport and more than double Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson, the busiest in the US. The infrastructure plan is staggering. DWC will feature 5 parallel runways, each capable of accommodating the world's largest aircraft, and a line to allow simultaneous takeoffs and landings. At the heart of the airport will be 2 massive central terminals, each radiating 7 concourses like the wings of a steel butterfly. This layout isn't just for show, it's designed to minimize taxiing time for aircraft and walking distance for passengers. To move people efficiently across this colossal footprint, DWC will deploy an underground people mover system connecting every gate, lounge, and terminal in minutes. The system will operate continuously, ensuring that even during peak hours, passengers can transfer seamlessly between flights without fear of missing connections. Technology is the beating heart of the DWC vision. Biometric corridors will replace traditional passport control, allowing passengers to clear immigration in seconds through facial recognition. The baggage system will be entirely AI-powered, tracking every suitcase in real time and communicating with smart trolleys to ensure bags and passengers arrive together. Lost luggage, one of the biggest pain points in air travel, could become virtually obsolete. Perhaps the most ambitious technological feature is the digital twin, a virtual replica of the entire airport that monitors every plane, passenger, and operation in real time. This allows predictive problem solving. Gate changes can be anticipated before they cause delays. Congestion can be relieved before it forms, and resources can be deployed precisely where they're needed. The airport's location next to Jebel Ali Port, the 9th busiest container terminal in the world, will create something unprecedented, the planet's first truly integrated air-sea logistics hub. Cargo could arrive by ship in the morning and be loaded onto aircraft for same-day delivery anywhere in the world. For Emirates Sky Cargo, this proximity could redefine freight efficiency. Sustainability is another pillar of the project. 60% of the airport's rooftops will be covered with solar panels, generating a significant portion of its power needs. Construction will use recycled materials wherever possible, and AI-controlled energy systems will ensure minimal waste. The goal is nothing less than net zero operations, a bold target for an airport of this scale, but one Dubai insists is achievable. For American travelers, this could mean faster and more efficient connections to Asia, Africa, and the Middle East, with shorter layovers and reduced travel stress. For the global aviation industry, it represents a new benchmark, a facility that's not only massive but intelligent, sustainable, and strategically integrated into a global logistics network. Dubai's move is a gamble, yes, but it's also a statement. In an era when most cities struggle to expand existing infrastructure, Dubai is building a mega project that could define international travel for the next century. And unlike incremental upgrades at aging hubs, DWC's design starts fresh, free from the compromises of retrofitting. The vision is clear: to create not just the largest airport in the world, but the smartest, most connected, and most sustainable. If successful, DWC will not simply replace DXB, it will rewrite the rules of global aviation. Shutting down the world's busiest international airport is not something you do overnight. For Dubai, moving from DXB to DWC will be a decade-long choreography, one that must keep flights operating, passengers moving, and the city's aviation reputation intact. The transition begins cautiously. In the late 2020s, DWC will expand its existing facilities to welcome cargo operations on a large scale. Emirates Sky Cargo will be among the first to relocate, using the new site to test baggage handling, security systems, and ground operations in real-world conditions, but without risking passenger disruption. Low-cost carriers and seasonal charter flights will follow, providing further operational trials. By the early 2030s, DWC's first new megaterminals will open, designed to process tens of millions of travelers. This period will see select long-haul routes move to the new airport, particularly those serving regions with flexible transfer options. This gradual scaling ensures that any technological kinks or logistical bottlenecks are addressed before the full switch. The grand migration is set for 2035-2040. Over these years, entire airlines, Emirates included, will shift their fleets, crews, and support systems to DWC. Picture hundreds of aircraft finding new parking stands, thousands of flight crew learning new layouts, and every ground service, from catering to aircraft maintenance, repositioning seamlessly. The scale rivals relocating a small city. To maintain connectivity, Dubai will introduce a high-speed rail link between DXB and DWC, cutting the 30-mile distance to just 45 minutes. Passengers will be able to check their bags at one airport and have them automatically transferred to the other if connecting flights require it. Dedicated support teams will serve different markets. For example, multilingual assistance for Asian travelers and specialized services for frequent flyers from the US and Europe. But what becomes of the old DXB? Dubai has no intention of letting 2,000 hectares of prime urban land go idle. Enter DXB City, a bold redevelopment plan to transform the site into a mixed-use urban district. Former runways will become green boulevards and residential avenues. The old control tower will remain as an architectural landmark anchoring a central public plaza. Environmental remediation will play a key role. Years of jet fuel residue will be cleaned from the soil. Millions of tons of concrete will be recycled and solar canopies will line the new streets. Affordable housing, rare in Dubai, will rise where first-class lounges once stood, alongside cultural centers, tech startups, and parks. In this way, the closing of DXB becomes not an ending, but a rebirth, both in the desert south, where DWC rises, and in the heart of the city, where DXB's land is reborn as a new urban core. The opening of Al-Maktoum International Airport will not just be a milestone for Dubai, it will ripple through the entire global aviation network. For decades, DXB has been one of the main gravitational centers in international travel. Shifting that center to a facility with 260 million passenger capacity fundamentally changes the map. For US travelers, the implications are significant. DWC's scale and efficiency could mean faster, smoother journeys to Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. Current routes that require lengthy layovers or multiple connections might be replaced with more direct, well-timed itineraries through Dubai South. For business travelers, this means less time in transit and more time on the ground where deals are made. For leisure travelers, it could make destinations that once felt far-flung, like Zanzibar, Colombo, or Kathmandu, just one seamless connection away. For American Airlines, the shift presents both opportunity and competition. US-bound carriers might secure valuable slots at a brand new mega hub, offering them the chance to expand into markets where they currently have little presence. At the same time, they'll face intensified rivalry from Emirates, Fly Dubai, and other Gulf carriers that can leverage DWC's facilities to offer aggressive schedules and competitive fares. The economic ripple effect could also reach the United States in other ways. U.S. engineering firms, airport technology providers, and sustainability consultants could find themselves working on contracts tied to DWC's ongoing development and operations. With its emphasis on net zero operations, DWC may serve as a model for sustainable airport design, influencing future projects at hubs like LAX, JFK, or Chicago O'Hare. But the transformation is not without risk. Mega projects of this magnitude have a history of running into delays, budget overruns, and unforeseen technical problems. The scale of relocating hundreds of aircraft, tens of thousands of staff, and millions of passengers without major disruption is unprecedented. Even with meticulous planning, there's always the possibility of system hiccups, whether in baggage handling, passenger processing, or air traffic management. There's also the competitive question. Rival hubs in Doha, Istanbul, and Riyadh are not standing still. They are expanding aggressively, and if DWC stumbles, those competitors could capitalize quickly. The stakes are high. In global aviation, passengers and airlines are loyal only as long as the service remains superior. For Dubai, the bet is that ambition, technology, and flawless execution will keep them ahead. For the rest of the world, including the United States, the opening of DWC will be a moment to watch closely. A test case for whether a purpose-built, ultra-modern mega hub can set a new global standard. When the first wave of passengers walks through DWC's biometric corridors and boards a flight bound for Los Angeles, New York, or Dallas, it won't just mark the beginning of a new journey. It will signal that the center of global air travel has shifted, and that Dubai has once again redefined what's possible in the skies. For American travelers, Al-Maktoum International Airport promises to transform long-haul journeys. With its 260 million passenger capacity, cutting-edge biometric processing, and AI-powered baggage systems, DWC can reduce layover times and make connections to Asia, Africa, and the Middle East faster and more seamless. Destinations that currently require 2 or more connections, such as Zanzibar, Kathmandu, or Colombo, could soon be reached with a single, well-timed transfer. The airport's high-speed rail link to Dubai's city center and its proximity to world-class hotels and business hubs will make stopovers more convenient, turning layovers into productive or enjoyable breaks. For business travelers, this means less time in transit and more time on the ground where deals are made. For leisure travelers, it means smoother journeys, less stress, and more destination options. In short, DWC could redefine how Americans experience international travel, making it smarter, faster, and far more comfortable.